Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the June 6th, 2020 Pro Wrestling Throwdown broadcast. As always, I am Caleb Black. This is Luke the Big Dog Williams, our in-studio producer, Max Fury, and my son, Jordan. We are here to give you This Week in Wrestling. Let's talk, Luke. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Ready for another week of professional wrestling at its finest?
It's been a week.
It's been
a week of wrestling, for sure.
Not sure I'd say finest.
All right, let's kick it off.
Fair.
First of all, the WWE lets in a very, very important trademark slip that Cody Rhodes snatched up. Now, if you're not familiar, Cody Rhodes has been basically hunting open trademarks that the WWE lets lapse and then buys them. He literally, it's almost predatory the way he approaches it. And he stole the Four Horsemen.
I think that stole is I don't know if that's appropriate. WWE were lame-brained enough to let the trademark of one of the greatest wrestling factions in the history of professional wrestling.
I completely agree.
Elapse. How do you do that?
Yeah, there's somebody in that office not doing their job.
Or there's somebody in that office that's been paid off by Rhodes.
But Tony Khan's just slipping them like, let me know when it's free, man.
Shamrock.
Oh man. Some other news coming out today. Matt Riddle, I guess his call-up caused quite a stir. Derailed, apparently, a series of plans that affects a number of talents in NXT due to the shakeup of the tag division.
Yeah, it's kind of one of them chain reaction things.
One thing falls Pete Dunne's going to come back. They're not going to be champs anymore. He's not going to have a partner. Timothy Thatcher's doesn't have a partner anymore. Now the tag teams are not wrestling the matches they were booked to wrestle. Yeah. They're offset. So there's going to be a little bit of a cleanup, but I don't think that's necessarily an issue. They've got a huge tag team division. They're just going to have to move some pieces around. Maybe we'll see some more call-ups from NXT UK.
Yeah, and that's always a plus. Anytime you can change the landscape of what you're doing to freshen it up.
Yeah.
And I think NXT could use a little bit of freshening. Not a lot, but the main roster could definitely benefit from a lot of the guys being called up. And girls.
And speaking of plans getting derailed, Jinder Mahal's hurt again. Out with another knee injury.
He probably sneezed.
And I'll tell you what.
Threw his knee out.
The plan that they had for Jinder Mahal to be Drew McIntyre's foil, like we talked about, and bringing back Heath Slater to be involved in that feud, like we talked about, is never going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen now. Not anytime soon.
And if you think about it, we've lost out on 3MB. We've lost out on the Nexus.
Yep.
Being at Mania this past year.
Yep.
We've lost out on numerous things this year already due to the fact of, the Steve Corino virus. And it's just, it's really thrown a monkey wrench into a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I would have loved to have seen Jinder Mahal actually get a push where he didn't have to play heel.
Yeah, agreed.
Would have been nice for once. Speaking of people who are out and people who are in, one thing that we definitely need to cover is Adam Cole. His contract has not been signed.
Not yet.
He is a free agent as of August.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly the date. Of course, that'll come further into August. Yep. But, man, that's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
There's rumblings in the water.
I think he'll resign, yes.
Sure. But is it fun to think about what happens if he doesn't?
It's a whole lot of fun to think about what he does if he doesn't. But I think if they give him the main roster push, I think that he would do more good on the main roster in WWE as somebody who can go and pull off classic matches with people. AEW would be good because he's younger.
Agreed.
But at the same time, everybody wants to get to the E. Yeah. That's the top of the business.
That's where the money is. But AEW's, making competitive offers.
It is making competitive offers, and there's a lot of matches that you could get through AEW that would be different than WWE. But, why when you're settled so well and they've made you the head of NXT for a year as of the 1st of this month, WWE it isn't like they're not doing it. He's not the FTR.
Yeah, it's not like he's not being used well. He's probably going to resign. Speaking of other talent call-ups, TNA Slammiversary advertising. A lot of familiar faces.
Yes.
So that's something fun to see who's going to show up, who's going to pop out. We'll talk more about that later on.
Yes.
FTR is on a handshake deal with AEW, they've said, which is an old school term of agreements.
Yes. It's where you take, just somebody's word for something. They offer you the money, you shake the hands. That's how business used to be ran.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that because that doesn't hold them down. If they want to make a spot show here or they want to make a spot show there, they're allowed to do so without being
they'll be able to fill some dates and maybe get some of those other matches they've talked about wanting to have.
Right.
With matches with guys like the North, they could have on an indie circuit that'll book them. So, I mean, there's money there. There are ways for them to work with AEW and still be themselves and get themselves over.
Right, and it works hand in hand. The revival, for lack of a better term, that gives them exposure, but that also gives AEW exposure because AEW gets to claim, well, this is our team. They're going to these different places,
representing AEW.
Exactly. It's win-win for both
sides. And I'm loving their goal to restore the rules to tag team wrestling, which we'll talk more here as the show goes on.
How about Tony Khan? The Linda McMahon comments on Twitter.
Linda Hogan.
Apologize. Linda Hogan. And Tony Khan saying that you're banned from AEW events just like your ex-husband.
Yep. Formally banned. They're never allowed to attend.
Gotta love Tony Khan, man.
Racist remarks made by the Hogan family, which is a freaking shame.
You gotta watch your mouth.
That's right. The last bit of news today, Nia Jax hurts Kairi Sane again, for real. Again. Luke, what are the 3 things that are certain in life?
3 things that are definitely certain in life. Taxes, death, and eventually being hurt by Nia Jax. It's the truth, man. Did you see the gash on her forehead from that stare?
I don't like burying her, but continuously.
You don't have to worry about burying her. She's burying herself.
She's so bad.
And Kairi Sane eventually.
I don't know if she's not as fluid because of the knees or because of what's going on.
I think she thinks
of the surgical recoveries.
Much. Yeah.
But man, it's just she's not killing it, but
no,
she's killing everyone else. That's going to wrap us up for the news segment. What did you think about the news this week? What do you think about Nia Jax hurting folks? Please let us know. There are several ways to do that. You can email us at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/prowrestlingthrowdown. Or you can leave a comment below. But if you're going to leave a comment below, like, subscribe, share our videos, get the word out, tell us what you thought about the news, and stay tuned for the new format for This Week in Wrestling.